More on this, we are joined by author and former Secret Service Special Agent Evy Poumpouras. Evy, what exactly needs to be done to rescue these Americans from this notorious cartel?
I think the primary source of information actually is going to be the DEA, even though the FBI is the one who's heading this operation, so to speak, because it is a kidnapping or seen as a kidnapping. DEA is the one who has the best intelligence about what's going on because we're dealing with the cartels in that area. So you're going to be looking at wiretapping. You're going to be looking at intercepting communication. Are we hearing any dialogue about what is going on so that we can pinpoint where the individuals may have been taken? That's the first and foremost thing. Then it's going to be the ability to work with the Mexican federal authorities or the authorities. Here's the thing with working with Mexico and the authorities there. There are issues with corruption. So one of the cartels, drug cartels, one of the head of the drug cartels actually in some area used to be a police officer. So one of the issues we're having that they're going to have is how much information can you share with local authorities there? So you have to be very careful with who you're working with and who you are communicating with. As far as going in, the United States typically is not one to go into another country to do this. They're going to work with the local authorities, give them the intelligence that they need, and then see if the local authorities, or rather the federales, are the ones, if they can get them to go in to do some type of extraction. This is going to be a very difficult situation. And I do think, in line with what your previous expert was saying, this seems to be something that's wrong place, wrong time. Now, what are they going to do? The only thing is, there's always been violence in this area, very bad violence. This isn't anything new. Even migrants crossing through, they've experienced murders, assassinations. They use them to move drugs through. They also sexually assault the women passing through. So these cartels are extremely powerful. They control the borders, hands down. And so this is going to be quite a challenge.
The FBI, they're offering a $50,000 reward, but is that any type of incentive?
I don't think so. And I saw that. It's actually quite surprising. The people that live in that area, they are already living under such duress. They are not going to risk giving any information for $50,000 because these types of cartels, they don't just harm you. They don't just go after you. They go after your entire family. So I don't see anything coming of that. I would be surprised.
Yeah, it seemed rather low to me for 4 people, too. Former Attorney General Bill Barr recently compared Mexico's drug cartels to ISIS, and there's been some talk about designating them as terrorist organizations. Would that be helpful? Would that give the FBI and other law enforcement agencies any more weapons in their arsenal to fight these cartels?
I'm so glad you brought that up because we label these individuals as drug traffickers, and they are not. They operate on the level of terrorist groups. They are heavily armed, well armed, even better armed than the police or local authorities down there. They have all the power. They control everything there. They are pushing, all the drugs through. So yes, I think that is an appropriate label. I think that to deal with this issue, that we have to up-level our game and not merely treat them as drug traffickers, not the drug traffickers we think here in the United States. This is something entirely different. So if we're going to deal with this, we need to change the way we operate. It's become a huge problem at the border. Hundreds, if not thousands of people have been killed at the border. And, maybe given what's happened here, authorities will step up their game. They will change the way they treat what is happening at the border because it is not just dangerous from the American standpoint, but also the people, the Mexicans and the Mexican Americans that are on the other side.
Evy Poumpouras, thank you so much for being with us this morning, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.